Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel and back to my mini series where I pick a daily challenge and I try to give you some tips or tricks on how to accomplish it. Today we have a bounty hunter challenge, and that is to complete a bounty without killing an enemy or bounty target. Now, if you've been playing Red Dead for any amount of time, you know that the bounty hunter dailies bug out. There's quite a few of them that bug out quite often, and this is one of them. I'm not sure I've ever had it work in free roam if I do a bounty, even if we don't kill anybody. I don't think it's ever worked. However, the Wolfman legendary bounty is actually pretty consistent for me. The wolves don't count, I guess, and as long as you keep the Wolfman alive and turn him in and you don't die at all and have to restart the mission, it's almost 100% success rate for me, I think. So I'm going to show you some tips and tricks today on how to accomplish this bounty as easily as possible, as the legendary bounties can be a little tricky, especially if you're all the way up at 5 stars. Tip number 1, I recommend taking in a shotgun. Make sure you have full rounds because you're going to need a lot of them. And then either take in a Carcano if you're a free aim player, or a bolt action if you are an auto aim player. Having both of these guns is going to be really important, as there are a ton of wolves that you're going to need to kill along the way. Now, as you load into this mission, I think you pretty much always load in the same place where you're going down this hill toward Lake Isabella. And so there's 3 locations that Wolfman can spawn. When I get to the bottom of the hill here, I point out in the distance, you can see some fire. So if you go around the lake that way, that's location number 1, where it's up a small hill. There's a small fireplace. There's usually 2 wolves that start there with him. And then a bunch more wolves will come in if he's there. If he's not there, though, you're going to come back down the hill. And if you were going the original direction, you're just going to, instead of going up the hill, you're just going to keep going around to the right. There's 2 more spots. There's one by a cabin, and then a little bit further around the corner, there's going to be up another small hill. There's a cave there. Now, if he is at that 3rd location at the cave, there is a bear there, and that bear will kill him pretty quickly. So just make sure you take out that bear. Now, you can also search the clues around. So if you're not quite sure where these 3 locations are, you can search the clues. It takes a lot longer, but the longer you're in the mission, honestly, the more gold you're going to get and money. So if you're trying to take your time, feel free to search those clues. If you want to go right to the locations, though, you know, that just makes it a little bit quicker. Now, something I did encounter this time that I've never really encountered in the Wolfman bounty, and it happened 3 times today. He was actually at this first location, and instead of running away, he chased after me, and I encountered a bug here where my horse stopped moving. I couldn't get it to move at all. It's that bug where kind of the butt scoots down to the ground. And he was able to get to me and pull me off my horse. If this happens, whether your horse bucks or the Wolfman comes after you, try to keep your distance 1, because Rockstar has this thing for legendary bounties and legendary animal missions that it doesn't matter how solid your horse is in free roam, it's just going to buck in these missions. That's just their MO. Rockstar's like, we're going to make this as difficult as possible. Your horse is going to buck no matter what. Your horse will buck over beavers, okay, in a legendary animal mission. So it's just going to happen. If you can keep some distance and keep your horse moving, you can minimize that. In this case, I didn't have a choice because my horse bugged out. But if that does happen, and if you come off your horse, if you're near water, that's ideal. If you can get to water, because you can use that water to keep the wolves from being able to run right up to you, and it's going to increase your chances of being able to finish that bounty without dying. If you're not near water, try to use the terrain if possible. Try to take a tonic at least, and just keep moving. Use that shotgun and try to get all the wolves killed as quickly as possible. So as you can see in the clip that's playing, pretty much everything that could go wrong was going wrong. This was my 3rd attempt today, and when I tell you that this is the kind of stuff that was happening, I'm just not even kidding. My horse actually bugged out in this one and would not move. That's the first time it happened of the 3. But then even like my camera was being weird, my gun wouldn't fire, like the wolves were just taking 2, 3, 4 shots, which is kind of pretty normal in a legendary, but like it just seemed worse than normal. So just keep in mind, this is all stuff that's going to happen in a legendary bounty or even a legendary animal mission. It's just the way the Rockstar rolls. It's like they don't know how to make it more difficult, so they just make everything not work. Or I'm not really sure what it is. But in any case, try to stay calm. Again, use that water if you can, especially if the wolves are coming after you. It does help a lot. So I was actually able to stay alive in this one and lasso him and start riding toward the drop-off point. Okay, and one last thing, no matter whether you turn into Coulter or you turn into the bounty wagon that is near Hanging Dog Ranch outside Big Valley, there is going to be a bear that attacks you right before that drop-off point. So just keep in mind that that bear is there. It's usually right in Coulter or right along this trail. You can see here, I was just over this bounty at this point, so I put on incendiaries because I was like, that bear has killed me a couple times today, which is not normal because I know it's there. But I just make sure you know it's there. Go slow because, you know, stuff happens. Make sure you kill the bear or at least get around the bear, right away from the bear, and then turn that bounty in. All right, so we've turned that bounty in. Everything went as good as it could possibly go based off the rest of the Wolfman bounties today. And as we're loading back into free roam, you should see if it works. It should pop up on the left-hand side of your screen that you have done the daily challenge of not killing any enemies or targets. I don't know why it works in this one. The wolves, I guess, do not count because it's not a person. But like I said, this is one that works. I'm going to go a good 90% of the time. If you die, I don't think it ever works if you die. But if you complete it without dying, I would say I almost always get this daily challenge. I've had a few times where I think I've had to do it a second time, even though I didn't die. But it's pretty consistent for me. There may be other legendary bounties that work as well. I tried Ed Doyle without killing anybody, and it didn't work for me. But I've had people say that it does. So let me know in the comment section down below if you have a legendary bounty that you have had this work for, so I can give it a try. If you have any questions about the bounty itself, let me know that as well. If you found this video helpful or informative or just fun to watch, I'd appreciate it if you'd leave it a like. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.